truth uncensored. My whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. I like my truth uncensored.
I'm gonna start off with this, man. Like I said, YG, sat down on Big Boy's Neighborhood the other day, and he started talking about Nipsey Hussle. But what he said towards the end of this interview really brought up a point of contention that we want to talk about, that we've been talking about. So I'm just going to play this clip here, and then we're going to rap about this. Hey, man, here's YG.
You say all the phrases of, of course the marathon continues. God take the good. I feel when you say that, man.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't accept that with this one. Just be like, yeah, nah. It's like, no, can't accept it.
And then you got different moments too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about just the stage. It's the videos, the private conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot. Like, if the world felt the loss of Nip a certain way, I always thought about what you felt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it physically makes me sick,
that's bro, it's crazy. I still think about this shit every day, all day. Mm-hmm. Like, I go do my little shit, and then I be doing my shit, and I'm like, the homie gone.
Yeah.
How did this
just pop in your head, huh?
It's like, nah, bro, this shit ain't. I'm talking about Nip all day. Like, whoever around me, they know. Like, wow, you on some Nip shit. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm gonna do what the homie would want us to do.
Yeah.
Turn up, keep his shit lit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, it's sad. I can't accept it. But the homie gone, though.
Man, we'll leave it there. We'll continue it too, man.
But look, I want to say this. I want to say, I hate how all these people coming out of, you feel me, nowhere saying all this Nipsey shit when he passed. And it's like, I just wish the homie would have knew that these people fucked with him when he was alive. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that shit fake, and ain't nobody fucking with that. And they liable to get slapped. Mm-hmm. You feel me? When some real ones come across, easy go slap.
So that's YG, addressing not anybody by name, but calling out people who show what they're saying is fake love towards Nipsey after he died. And he says, "Look, man, I wish that Nipsey would have known that these people rock with him like that. When he was here." Saying, man, we're not starting anything here, but who do you think that YG is addressing? Because we know that we've seen a number of people that as soon as Nipsey died, that jumped up and appeared as if, and you were critical of a few of them, and as other people were as well, but people who jumped up and said, look, man, we love Nipsey, that's my brother, boom, 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 boom. They started defending him when Kodak Black said it, all this and that. But YG is like, he was at the funeral, so YG was obviously very close to the family. Right. But some people weren't at the funeral. They weren't speaking on Nipsey's funeral. What do you think about this statement, Sam, at YG calling out ?
Well, see, this is the thing. He didn't name any names, neither will I. But when I initially thought about it, I said, damn, is he talking about bloggers? Because all he said was people. And usually, if people are talking about bloggers as it pertains to giving criticism or having something negative to say, they usually call those bloggers out by name. Not maybe in particular, but they say, I'm tired of these fucking bloggers, these bloggers. Okay. And then he said something that kind of raised my attention. I wish that Nip knew he had all of this love when he was alive. So that obviously wasn't a shot at bloggers, because none of us, how many people out there that speak on hip hop or speak on this or speak on that, whoever spoke on Nipsey during that time genuinely know who that man is. People go out there and they did their videos, and no matter how distasteful they were or how respectful they were, they did their thing. But none of us really genuinely know Nipsey, especially in particular the way a YG does. That's why it would be great to even have him on here, just to go ahead, if you feel the need to give stories, man. Go ahead and just talk. It ain't got to be about the people that's out here doing the bullshit, because we know you were genuinely a part of Nipsey's life. I mean, it's been documented. His family was saying it. You were up there at the funeral. So even if you didn't have proper knowledge on you guys' relationship, you can obviously see from looking from afar, if you covered any Nipsey coverage at all, that, yeah, this man, YG, had a very close relation to Nipsey Hussle, which showed all throughout. So he also has great license in giving criticism to those who don't. And he
Right.
knew in his mind who he was going to speak on or who he was speaking on. And we can all sit back and speculate. He didn't name names. Like I said, I'm not going to name names, but the ones that you can kind of see, it ain't hard to see who's genuine and who ain't. Just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very well put, you know, the way you put that. Obviously, again, we can say whatever, but people jump up. But again, we don't know. We're not in position to say, oh, this is fake or not. But YG kind of is, because he's Nipsey's boy for real. Again, it says a lot when you're at the funeral and the family brings you in. You know what I mean? So
a whole lot. You understand me? That's not Nipsey. That's Aramis Asgadon. That's another whole level. So
yeah, and so it's just like, you know, I salute YG for this, for calling people out. I'm sure he just, at the time, he probably would have called them out, but he was probably busy mourning and doing the whole thing. And now he finally got a chance to have an interview and talk about it. And he's like, man, these dudes is fake.
Right.
He ain't want to really cause no trouble by calling nobody's name, because some people may think it's a cowardly thing, but sometimes it's smart, because why even pick wars? You don't just pick wars just to pick wars with people. And then a lot of times when you call people out, now you're actually helping them, become relevant again. So salute to YG for what he said. We seen the people, you know, that were genuine, you know, about Nipsey. We seen a lot of people going in there trying to buy stuff from the store, but we know who was dealing with Nipsey beforehand for the most part.
Okay, I'm glad you said it, because I love the way YG did it. I'm so glad he did it the way he did it, because not only because Big Boy was done with the conversation, he said, we'll leave it at that, but he made it a point to make that point known in particular without calling out names, because names didn't need to be called out. Because what's going to happen? That's no better than an Instagram post. That's no better than a social media post of you going out there, calling out somebody's name and trying to get a reaction. YG knew good and goddamn well if he called out names, what it would have came to.
Yeah.
Now all the stories come out.
Yeah.
Now it's some unnecessary drama. Nah, this shit is real. This ain't no Hollywood shit. If I see you and I see you, we may have some words pertaining to that situation, because I didn't appreciate all the attention you were looking for in someone's death that I really fucking cared about. And I'm glad he went about it the way he did.
Right.
That's all I'll be asking for.
Yeah.
You could go ahead and talk about what you want, but there's certain ways that just people who are genuine about things go about them.
Yeah. I definitely, you know, didn't really know a lot about YG, you know what I mean? But definitely growing, you know, to love him. And you could definitely tell that Nipsey had a special effect on this dude's life, like no other, like almost like a big brother to him, and carried him along, you know what I mean, the journey, and put him onto a lot of game. Even though, here's the crazy part, a lot of people don't talk about two different sides of the spectrum, Blood, Crip, something you typically don't see happening like that. They usually kind of just stay on their side, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, they you know, truced it up, pieced it up, and you know, it was great, man. You know,
the power of hip hop, and just how
sir.
It brings people together. Because how often do we see now two sides that when we grew up, that shit was like oil and water. It did not fucking mix at all. Drop it off right there. It did not mix at all. And for us to be able to see prominent rappers, popular rappers out here with millions of followers be able to hash that out, that is incredible to see. That's powerful to see.
Right.
And like you said, I gain more and more respect for YG every day. He's a great actor. He's very talented at what he does. Does some knucklehead shit too, but we're all young. We do wild shit, and we're living in a day and age where everything is on camera. So we live and we learn on camera. So I'm glad on how he's kind of, or how he, excuse me, not how he's kind of growing, how he is growing throughout this Nipsey tragedy, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and keep his legacy alive, because you are a branch directly off of his legacy, and continue to keep it going. And
then, you know, just a quick update with the Nipsey situation. I'm not mistaken, his sister was granted, you know, custody, you know, of his daughter Imani.
We didn't report that.
We didn't actually talk about that afterwards, because it was just kind of redundant at that point. But you know, just to add on to this, since it's the Nipsey conversation, the family was in support of it. We do know that his baby mom had a DUI. She might be facing jail time. So it's one of those situations where it's real. All we want to see here at the Uncensored Truth podcast is just the child being the best possible, you know, scenario to blossom as a young woman. That's it, period. Whatever side it be on.
And honestly, do it as privately as you could possibly can. Already in the limelight as much as she is, both being fathers and understanding the little limelight that we have. Right. The importance of protecting the ones underneath us, our families, and you know what I mean. So to be able to have to go through this publicly, and now to have the custody battle public, your dad thing public. This young lady has to go to school. She has to still live her life. So you would like to do that as privately as she could, the way her father would have wanted it genuinely done. So hopefully this is the end of it. Now we can kind of move on. If there is anything that continues to happen, hopefully not every fucking note of the situation is out here for people to gravitate and just eat and chew up, because that's not how it should be done.
Well, unfortunately, I think it's probably gonna. Yeah. It's almost like they're now under that microscope.
I'm being too naive.
Yeah. It's like the TMZ, microscope now, where anything that's filed, police report, whatever, because now is people want to know. So unfortunately, they're gonna have to just try their best to stay out, of that limelight. Sort of kind of like Jay-Z is able to. Beyonce, a lot of stuff hasn't, they've been able to stay under the radar, but it's a difficult thing to do in this day and age with this technology.
It is, man. It's damn near impossible. And I raise children on it, and she's on it, so it's just
right. Definitely
pray for everybody involved, all family involved.
Yes, sir. But you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother Oh God over here and Sandman over there from Viral Hip Hop News. If you're listening in on YouTube, you see the visual right now, right there in your screen.